Hello students, Mr. Bastillas here. Welcome to Unit 4, Week 2, Day 2. Make sure you have your meaning mapper, article a day, your book of knowledge, and paper and pencil to write with. Today we will learn about rainforest and reread a text for fluency, expression, and vocabulary development. Let's get started. Look at the two images. We have a forest on the left and a rainforest on the right. Analyze the two types of forests. Share two observations for each image and compare and contrast. How are these two types of forests alike and different? Take a moment to do this now. Here are some similarities and differences I noticed about these two pictures. First, I noticed they both have trees. The image on the left has one type of tree, but the image on the right has many different types of trees. The image on the right also has a river, and the image on the left doesn't have a river. Did you notice some of these same similarities and differences? Before reading our article a day, let's go back to our focus word, layers. Let's look at each image and decide if it represents a good example of our focus word, layer. How about this first one? Is this a good example of layers? Yes, it is. We see layers of garbage bags. How about this second one? No, this isn't really a good example of layer. How about this one? That's right. This is a good example of the word layer. It shows layers of golf balls. This should be an easy one. Yes, this is a good example of layers as well. It shows the layers of the earth. How about this last image? You're right. This is also a good example of the word layers. It shows the layers of a cake. Now let's get started with our article a day. Discover the rainforest. Taking into consideration the title and the image, what do you think this article is going to be about? That's right. This article is going to be about rainforests because the title says it and the image shows a picture of a rainforest. Let's get started. Many animals live in a tropical rainforest. When we use the word tropical, we are talking about a certain part of the world that is usually warm during the whole year. Some of them have bright colors. The red-eyed tree frog is one of those animals. This is the red-eyed tree frog. What are some others? Can you think of other animals that live in the rainforest? Use the images to help you. Ants, parrots, and butterflies are also bright-colored animals that live in the rainforest. What a colorful place! A tropical rainforest is a warm, wet place. It is a home for many animals. Many kinds of plants grow there too. Read about the layers of a rainforest. And when we say layers, we're talking about more than one layer. The emergent layer is the top layer. It is made up of the tops of the very tallest trees. It is home to many birds and insects. Macaws fly up in the trees here. These are macaws. They're brightly colored parrots. They like to call loudly to each other. These birds eat fruits, nuts, and flowers. And like I said, they also live in the emergent layer of the rainforest, which is the very top layer of the rainforest with the tallest trees. The canopy is made up of the tops of most other rainforest trees. It is home to many animals. Sloths hang upside down from the tree branches here. These are sloths. They are said to be very lazy. Big, strong claws on the sloth's feet help it grab a branch. The furry sloth does not move much. You can't see it, but the sloth has claws that help it hold on to the trees. The understory is a dark, cool layer under the leaves of many trees. Emerald tree boas wrap around branches of trees here. This is an emerald tree boa. It is named an emerald tree boa because of its color. The boa hunts at night to catch birds and other small animals. This snake can open its jaws wide enough to swallow a bird whole. Jaguars also live in the understory layer of the rainforest where emerald tree boas live. The forest floor is dark and damp. Not much sunlight reaches it. Leaf cutter ants work hard here, using their sharp jaws to cut pieces of leaves. These are leaf cutter ants. They call them leaf cutter ants because they cut leaves. This ant carries leaves that are 20 times its weight. That is like a person carrying a 1-ton load. Wow, these little ants must be really strong. Now, take out your book of knowledge and write down 2 or 3 things you learned from the article and would like to remember. Take a moment to do so now. As usual, I'm going to go back to my article to find some information to write in my book of knowledge. The first thing I learned is that the tropical rainforest also has layers. I'm going to write that down in my book of knowledge. I learned that the rainforest also has layers. Another thing I learned is that the top layer of the rainforest is called the emergent layer. I'm going to write that down in my book of knowledge. I also learned that the top layer of the rainforest is called the emergent layer. This makes me think of a national park in Colombia called the Chiribiquete National Park, which is a huge rainforest. So I'm going to write that down in my book of knowledge. This makes me think of the Chiribiquete National Park in Colombia because it's a huge rainforest. And our article was all about rainforests. Take out your meaning mapper. In the middle, we have our focus word layers, and we know layers are parts of one thing that lie on top of each other. We already added the word clothes and clouds because they both come in layers. But after reading this article, what else could you add to your meaning mapper? I added the word rainforest because the rainforest also has layers. And that's it for me, students. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.